Hi, folks. Hope you're all surviving another week of Democrat logic where inflation is imaginary, men can have babies, and every political scandal is Republicans are to blame. Let's start with California, the world's leading exporter of bad ideas and even worse politicians. I mean, we made Kamala Harris, Gavin Newsom, and Katie Porter, who is running for governor, proving once again that California treats politics like an open mic night for narcissists. Here she is predicting Trump's demise, which, funny enough, sounds a lot like her campaign strategy. And by the way, speaking of delusional confidence, over in New York, Attorney General Letitia James just got indicted for bank fraud, then raised the fist in solidarity with herself, because nothing says turning the page on cynical politics like doing it from a courtroom. Between California's wannabe prophets and New York's indicted revolutionaries, it's clear Democrats aren't leading the country anymore. They're live streaming their own downfall. Oh, wow. Just put that down. Put that down, dude. Come on. Stop it.
I love you. I love you. Thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate you, and I've got your back. Yeah. I love you more.
Well, that's awkward. That has to be the most low energy, who cares moment I've ever witnessed in my life. Seriously. Tish James walks out, raises her fist like she just defeated corruption somehow, while standing there freshly indicted for corruption. And then she says, we're here tonight because we're ready to turn the page on the cynical, broken politics of the past. And it's ironic because this woman literally ran on a platform of indicting Trump for crimes she never had evidence for in the first place. That was an oversight. It was a strategy. It was a fabrication. She built her campaign on criminalizing her political opponent to win power. And now she's facing the same justice system she weaponized against Trump. It's a full circle moment that captures exactly what's gone wrong with Democrats and how they've usurped America's judicial system because they don't believe in accountability. They believe in advantage. They love to screech about saving democracy when in reality this is a constitutional republic. And using the justice system as your campaign arm is anti-democratic. This isn't just hypocrisy, folks. It's the decay of institutional trust. The Democrats running the country now treat law, truth, and process like props in the personal theater. And when that theater collapses, like it just did for Letitia James, all that's left is a fist in the air moment, the hollow ritual of a movement that's run empty on moral authority. Anyway, speaking of zero moral authority, Obama still hanging around for some reason. When is this guy going to retire? Just go away already, dude. Come on.
Yeah, we don't want, kangaroo courts and trumped up charges. That's what happens in other places that we used to scold for doing that. We want court system and our Justice Department and our prosecutors to be, and our FBI to be just playing things straight and looking at the facts.
Unlike what you did,
not meddling in politics the way we've seen lately. And I think if enough people start not just being in a fetal position, but also not being just not worrying about it and detached and detached from it, but being vigilant, but also saying, you know what?
Enough of this shit.
We can stand up to this. We can call it like we see it. We need people who have whatever platforms they have to be able to say, no, that's not who we are. And to be willing to get attacked on X by whoever for doing that. And it's not easy.
Yeah, because sometimes you fear for your life.
Yeah, and
actually, we need you to go away. That's what we need Obama to do. Also, we need you to shut up. How about that? Because, hey, guess who also weaponized the justice system during both of your terms in office? And guess who helped Joe Biden do it again from behind the scenes? Yeah, name starts with O, ends with Obama. That's you, bro. What are you even doing lecturing anyone about kangaroo courts and trumped up charges? You literally presided over one of the biggest political hoaxes in modern American history, Russiagate. an operation built on fabricated intelligence and media collusion designed to cripple a sitting president. That wasn't democracy. That was state-backed propaganda. And now to hear Obama talk about fairness and fear of being attacked on X is especially rich, because every other platform already silences dissent for him. TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, each one has openly favored liberal narratives, even donating millions to Democrat candidates and coordinating censorship of political opponents under the guise of misinformation. The deeper issue here isn't just Obama's hypocrisy, it's the culture he helped create. The Democrat institutions have become so accustomed to control that genuine free speech feels like a threat at this point. And accountability feels like persecution. So when Obama complains about losing the monopoly on narrative, what he's really lamenting is the end of their information empire. And speaking of the end of an information empire, Gavin Newsom has reached the end of his road because this man appears to just be absolutely obsessed with Joe Rogan. He made numerous mentions of Joe on this podcast, and this was one of them.
I think there's a California derangement syndrome, and he's part of it. I mean, I think people are obsessed with focusing on what's wrong with the state and not what's right with
relax.
the state. I mean, you have more scientists, engineers, more researchers, more Nobel laureates in the state than any other state in the nation. We're the fourth largest economy in the world, $4.1 trillion. We're the finest system of higher education that addresses the issue of equity better than any other public education system in the world. We dominate in every category, name it. We're the biggest manufacturing state, biggest farming state, ranchers and hunting jobs, which is interesting. We dominate in AI and quantum and fusion in every key category. The quality of life here consistently, and you look at the top 10 cities in the United States of America consistently, the top 5 are identified in the state of California, and we invent the future. It happens here first, where America's coming attraction. What I think doesn't attract people that tend to be on the spectrum of his politics is our diversity.
Gavin Newsom is just a living, breathing propaganda machine at this point, because this man throws out talking points that collapse the moment you look at real-world data. Sure, California is the 4th largest economy in the world, but it's also number 1 in cost of living when adjusted for income, number 1 in homelessness, and near the top in poverty. California's finest education system also ranks near the bottom nationally in reading and math proficiency. Los Angeles was ranked the 2nd dirtiest city in America, right behind San Bernardino, also in California. So when Newsom says we dominate, yes, we do, in fact, apparently in all the wrong categories. Now, Greasy Gavin's spin reflects the broader sickness of modern progressivism. It's built on the illusion of success, not the substance of it. They measure prosperity by GDP while ignoring that millions of their own citizens are fleeing because they can't afford to live here in California. This isn't a California derangement syndrome. It's California reality disorder. Newsom's real fear isn't that people are obsessed with what's wrong. It's that they finally stop believing the fairy tale that everything's right. Anyway, since we're on the retard hour, might as well check in with Katie Porter, who had this to say.
People were like, we gotta think every decision has to be made in tension with Trump. Soon, Trump will lose or go to prison or, I don't know, have a heart attack. I'm not sure.
We call it the hamburger.
I don't know what his demise is going to be,
Tim
but he'll have his demise. And the question will still be there. Who are we as Democrats?
Well, and you are gay and weird. Very weird. You guys have this, you Democrats have this bizarre obsession with moral posturing while your own side has been caught up in some of the darkest scandals imaginable. And I know some Democrats in the comments are going to scream, but Republicans are on the Epstein list. Well, let's be clear. I say this about any politician involved in that kind of predatory behavior. If you're part of what Epstein was doing, you deserve the death penalty, period. But that's exactly the point. These people moralize about Trump while standing on a moral foundation made of quicksand. Take Katie Porter, for example, openly fantasizing about Trump's demise like it's a campaign slogan. This is what California politics produces now. Leaders who confuse cruelty for courage and vengeance for virtue. It's the end stage of a political culture that's replaced faith, humility, and principle with performative hate. When a sitting congresswoman laughs about someone's death, that's not just weird. It's a reflection of a party that's spiritually bankrupt, obsessed with domination, and incapable of any sort of introspection. And that's exactly why Democrats are poised to lose. And not just that, they're going to keep losing generationally for years to come because they don't have any real policies or principles. Their entire identity is built on hating Trump, hating conservatives, and hating anyone who doesn't fit neatly into their ideology. It's all, we're not them, never Here's what we'll do better. And sure, the constant outrage and negative attacks might generate clicks and attention, might even get some headlines, but attention isn't the same as persuasion. People don't vote based on who screams the loudest. They vote based on who actually improves their lives. That's what voters care about: policy, results, and stability. So the real question here is, how long can this Democrat movement survive when it's fueled entirely by resentment? How long can a party built on performative outrage sustain itself in a country that's tired of chaos and hypocrisy? Maybe the real reckoning ahead isn't for Trump or the right. It's for the Democrats that have forgotten how to lead. You tell me what you think in the comments down below. Hope you have a terrific day. Peace.